last minute review video for the people who have not done the algebra review. Answer keys on Canvas, but maybe had other things to do, and to test this tomorrow. So I'm going to jump around and do a few different problems. One of them is synthetic division. A lot of people asked about this. Write the coefficients of the polynomials here. Write whatever makes this equal to 0 here. Bring down the first coefficient, multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply and add. The last box is the remainder, so your answer, we decrease our power by 1, so we have 4x squared minus 4x minus 5. The remainder is negative 16 over x minus 2. And some people got that confused with division by a monomial, which you don't use synthetic division. You just divide each term by 4x cubed. And then reduce all of the fractions. So 3x to the 4th plus 1 minus 1 over 2x squared plus 3 halves x. You could reorder those, but that's the final answer there. Jump down here, this factoring the 4th power. Factor it just like you were factoring something. If this was x squared minus 5x minus 36, that would factor into x minus 9, x plus 4. There's your x method, whatever you silly kids do. Factor. So this one down here factors into x squared minus 9, x squared plus 4. And then you can factor one more to get factored all the way. Any of these imaginaries multiplied by the conjugate of the denominator. Any 4-term factoring you want to factor by grouping. So you group the individual parts, 2x squared, take out the GCF, 2x squared leaves you with x plus 6. Sorry, x plus 3. Take out a negative 8, leaves you with x plus 3. 2x squared minus 8 times x plus 3. Factor out a 2. X squared minus 4, x plus 3. And then this will factor into x minus 2, x plus 2. A couple things that we did not get to time to review that will be on there. One of them is the word discriminant. And the discriminant is just b squared minus 4ac. And so in the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, the discriminant is that. So there were 3 cases. One is if b squared minus 4ac equals 0. And that would mean that we just have one root, because there's not a plus or minus that matters there. B squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. That means we have 2 roots, because we're doing plus or minus a radical. And if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, we have imaginary roots. So 2 of them, because that would be an I that goes on in there. So we have the three cases. If they ask about discriminant, you could just do the quadratic formula and see what kind of solutions you get to answer that. It's a little faster though. If it asks you about the discriminant, that's what it's talking about. A couple others skipping around. Power, this is an exponential over an exponential. If you had x to the 7th over x squared, you just subtract it 7 minus 2. Same thing here, we have the same base. 3x minus 5, subtract the quantity 2x plus 1. Make sure you subtract the whole quantity, so this would be 7. 3x minus 2x is x, negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. You can't cancel like this because this is a whole quantity. Anytime you have exponentials that are not the same base, you want to try to write them as the same base. So I can write this as a power of 2 to the 4th raised to the 3a, and then this is 2 to the 3rd raised to the a. 2 to the 12a, 2 to the 3a. Now you can add your exponents 2 to the 15a. Do not multiply these two together. You will be shocked by an algebra taser for algebra fouls. Simplify, did a lot of these radicals. This needs to be a perfect cube. Right now it's 5 squared. I want it to be 5 cubed, so I multiply by the cubed root of 5 over the cubed root of 5. So this would be 10 cubed root of 15. This is cubed root of 125, which is just 5. 10 and 5 cancel out. 2 cubed root of 15. One last one that's not on here, but has been in some of the reviews that we do, is factoring a perfect cube. So I'm just going to show you one of these. Make sure you remember. At one point you knew it really well, but you're humans, you probably forgot something. X cubed plus 64. If you are factoring this, we found the perfect cube of each of those, or the cube root of that's x, cube root of that's 4. And then we had a pattern where we wrote x plus 4, and then x squared, 4x, and 16. And if this was plus here, then we had a minus here. If this was x cubed minus 64, it would have been x minus 4 here and x plus 4 there. You can always adjust your signs here after you check it if you forget the rule. You can double check to make sure it works by multiplying. So x to the 3rd minus 4x squared plus 16x, and then plus 4x squared minus 16x plus 64. And so you want the inside stuff to cancel out, and so you get x cubed plus 64. Same thing here in check. So if it's two perfect cubes, like x to the 3rd, or even 8x to the 3rd minus 27, you'd use the cubed root of 8x to the 3rd, which is 2x, the cubed root of this, which is negative 3, and then follow your pattern. So for a minus here, it would be 2x minus 3, square that, multiply them together. Background noise. So if this is minus, this is plus. So if you want to review factoring a cube, there's several factory JMT, this fancy marker board videos you could watch as well. Other notes, the answers are on Canvas, but make sure you simplify your radicals before you try to combine them. We've spent a lot of time factoring, you shouldn't need that much review there. If you're going to multiply something like this together, distribute first, and then combine like terms. Quadratics, word problems, somebody loves those. You have a rectangle. Almost all the time you have a rectangle, and you're going to write the area formula and a perimeter formula. So if this is a bordered edge, it'd be 2x plus w. If there's not a bordered edge, if it's just a regular rectangle, then it'd be 2x plus 2w. You're always going to write an area and a perimeter. They're going to give you the perimeter, and you're going to solve, plug back in, and find the vertex. The other stuff you can do with quadratics, starting point, vertex is the high point, hits the ground is when that value is 0. Okay, that's your short review. You can go to sleep.